Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MLG Winter Championship. I'm Rob Simpson.
And I'm Tumba.
And up next, we are going to have HUK against Socke. Now, this is surprising. We were talking about that HUK would have to play the winner between Socke and the STC. This is a surprise to say the least. Socke has been on fire.
Yeah, he certainly has. I think a lot of people would have picked the STC to win that matchup, but there is no stopping Socke. And I'm happy because he's making me sound a little bit smart from yesterday. I said this guy's got the talent, he's got the chops and the ability, and he's proving it so far, Rob.
Yes, he most certainly is, and this will be another test of his skill because HUK is such an absolute monster in PvP. He is always one to try different things, always one to just get those small advantages and get ahead very quickly.
No, he certainly is, and it's one of those things where it's no big surprise that we see HUK in this position. He does very well at MLGs in particular, and he's comfortable here, where Socke is riding that emotional high, I feel, and just really capitalizing on the fact that he's charged up and winning games.
And now this is so big for HUK because right now this actually puts him in top 12, I do believe. So this is actually pretty huge. This is one of HUK's best performances in a very long time. And now over here we do see Socke. Oh dear, we've just received information that this is going to be a best of 7. I thought.
Okay, so I'm super excited now because there's just more games to cast, and of course that makes me very happy. So of course, it's one of those things, Rob, where this makes the cream rise to the top, as they say. So luck will not be so much of a factor as skill, as over the long period of time we're going to see who the better player is.
That's right. And for those of you at home, you can thank John Nelson for that extended series. JP actually got him a nice gift, a T-shirt.
Yeah, I did see that shirt yesterday.
Yeah.
He
telling
wears it
everybody that he made it. Oh, yes, of course. Blue really brings out his eyes. It also brings out the extended series very well. So right now we're actually just waiting for the players to get in here and get ready. But let's talk about the other matchups that are happening right now. In losers round 6, currently, we actually have Gonzi versus JYP is happening. Also, Violet versus Alive.
Wow, Violet, what massive. A story that guy is. I mean, again, at this point, not even surprised he's gone this deep into the tournament. Phenomenal player. Alive, too, though. I mean, a lot of people picked him to come out of the open bracket and just dominate this tournament.
Man, and so also we can see on there that we are going to be casting HUK versus Socke.
We will not be cussing anybody out.
No, we
will
not.
We will be casting the match, of course. Yes.
That is completely correct. And then right below them, Naniwa versus MC. So that's another pretty big PvP.
Yeah, no doubt. Naniwa, one of the best foreign Protoss in the world. And MC, of course, known as arguably the best Protoss in the world.
Yeah, man. So this is actually, that's pretty wild. So EG's been doing very well for themselves. They have 2 players in top 12. This is been a pretty solid tournament.
Well, you know, they are the foreign powerhouse in terms of being the team to beat. So it's one of those things where, again, no big surprise that HUK has got to where he's gotten to, or EG for that matter. That trading house, the EG layer, probably paying off for them.
Oh, yeah, just a bit. And JYP's really just been doing so well for himself. Those games against Rhett were pretty massive. Now, Rhett had one really big convincing victory where he pretty much just smashed through JYP, but JYP just coming back showing us that he is not done here yet.
Absolutely, Rob, and I can't tell you how excited I am to get into this matchup because, you know, HUK always provides entertainment no matter what, and Socke, again, riding that high.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to be able to ride into this. Let's talk a little bit about that money. So all of these players, since they're already top 12, if I'm not sorely mistaken once again, that means that they are already having $1,500 in the pocket. So if they make it through this, they're guaranteed $2,250, and we can just see that money climbs and climbs and climbs all the way up to that huge first-place prize of $25,000. This is a $76,000 prize pool.
That is quite an improvement over the $5,000 that it previously was. Almost a year's salary for some people there, Rob. That's a lot of ducats.
That is almost a year's salary for some. Man, that is so much money.
It's a lot. It's a good weekend of playing StarCraft, if I do say so myself.
Oh, exactly. Sure. So we are going to be going into Game 1 here on Entombed Valley between Socke and HUK. That's Socke for team alternate attacks against Evil Genius's HUK. Now here, as we morph into the map, we can see down here in the lower right-hand corner of the map, playing as the red Protoss representing team Evil Genius's HUK. And his opponent playing for team alternate attacks He's been on quite the win streak today, Socke.
That's right, Rob. And you know, I have to say, casting Socke yesterday against Puma, I was thoroughly impressed with his gameplay. Just never gets rattled, pure focus, playing a great brand of Protoss here at this tournament thus far.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does in this PvP, because so far we actually haven't had to see too much of that out of him. As a matter of fact, he has literally only played mostly Terran in the lower side of the championship bracket. This is going to be his first PvP in a while.
So we're going to have to see if he can adapt to that and shift gears, get ready for some PvP action. And he's going to have a huge hurdle here in the opponent that is EGHuk. Of course, you know, EGHuk completely comfortable. He's in his element here, and I have to say it's going to be very, very difficult to beat.
Yeah, we can see both of the players just opening up very standard, both placing down their gateways, although, of course, surprisingly, though, Socke pulled a little bit ahead as far as the drone count goes.
Well, you know, it's one of those things where EGHuk is meticulous in his build orders, so he can afford to sacrifice a probe here or a probe there, and it's not going to make too much difference. Socke, though, has been opening up typically very safe. So I want to see if he is going to decide to get aggressive here against EGHuk or merely get information on him. Of course, Socke, a player that loves to get his intel.
And so here on Entombed Valley, the real question is whether or not either of these players are going to ever end up making it up to the third. Although in PvP, the question is generally whether or not you even get your second base up.
Yeah, you know, I had the pleasure of casting and talking to Grubby at the Winter Arena, and, you know, PvP, Rob, has come so far since beta in the early days when it was a 4-gate fest, and it used to be the first player to expand lost. It was a Hail Mary situation, and now Grubby feels if you can successfully pull off an expansion first and defend it, it gives you a great advantage. So PvP metagame developing into much more of a cerebral game, much more of a thinking man's game, which I like, because don't get me wrong, those exciting 4-gate fest came down to a lot of exciting control and things like that, but right now we're starting to see the metagame fully develop through PvP, which lends itself to more unique build orders as well as different units to come into play. We even saw Mothership versus Mothership.
Oh, really? Earlier in this event?
No, not in this one. That was in Arena.
Oh, okay.
And JP
was, like,
was so enamored with the fact that you could, in fact, vortex another Mothership.
Oh, man. I didn't
It was
even
his
think
favorite
about
question to ask everybody for like a week solid.
Did you know that you could vortex a Mothership? Okay, wow. Also worth noting, guys, EGHuk currently has a 2-0 lead in this matchup, so he only needs to win 2 games because they did play against each other earlier in the event. And man, so that could mean that EGHuk absolutely has Socke's number going into this. Now, both of the players have added on their additional gases, and oh well.
Twilight Council.
So Socke started off with his 3-stalker opening. We saw that EGHuk chased down that one probe and got it out of the center of the map, so it's not getting any more information, and now he's going to be poking up just a little bit further. But Socke, with his wonderful positioning, also following up with 2 additional stalkers. EGHuk's not going to really be able to do anything with that.
The niceties are officially over here, Rob, as you can see, exchanging some blows. So the one thing about this is you want to be very active on the map with these stalkers. Both players sort of like 2 boxers taking jabs here. And here we go, seeing a little bit of action. The one stalker in the center wounded,
wow.
It does, in fact, pick it off there.
So that's a pretty crucial kill for Socke. We know that EGHuk is out here. He's just expanded, so this is a pretty big deal. Also, Socke has decided to go for a Twilight Council very soon, whereas EGHuk is merely adding on an additional 2 gateways. So we can see Socke is getting out that very early blink. He currently only has up 2 gates, adding on that 3rd. I don't know if EGHuk's going to have a hard time holding this if Socke pushes as soon as blink is done.
Yeah, it's one of those things where EGHuk is extremely confident, though, in his control. So you see the high sentry count. One thing about sentries, they're investment in 2 ways, not only in gas, but in time as well, because it takes time to build the energy that's going to be needed for Guardian Shields, for, of course, force fields as well.
And here we actually see Socke moving out just a little bit. He's now added on a robo facility of his own. Blink is about 40 more seconds away from finishing up. He's continuing to chrono boost that out as he wraps up his robo. Of course, EGHuk adding on a robo of his own.
EGHuk going to go ahead and Maynard some probes down. AKA so transfer.
And he's going to be saturating up that natural. Now, Socke is going to have a bit of a timer on him. Of course, You can see that Socke has no idea that expansion is here. He actually hasn't even bothered scouting anything.
Which surprises me, actually, because that's one thing that Socke is known for, is getting all this information, especially against opponents that he feels he might have a slight disadvantage to. But he is going to move out here.
Oh, wow. Huck may lose yet another Stalker, pretty much uncontested. It's starting to close the gap. It does take a significant amount of damage there, and it's not going to be able to get away.
Oh, he does pick off yet another Stalker of Huck there, as Huck continuing to add gateway units here, has a good unit spread at the top of his ramp there, sitting in wait for Socke.
Oh, wow. Now, all that Huck needs to do is be able to force field this ramp and buy enough time to wait for his Immortal to get out. He's laying down the hurt on some of these Stalkers, but we can see that Socke's Blink Micro allows him to escape, but Huck has successfully held this. Look at all of those Stalkers that he had available. The force fields were nice as well, just putting Socke in an awkward position, and now the Immortal is out in play.
Well, and that's what's really going to clinch the defense here for Huck, is that Immortal will just do so much work on those Stalkers. Now, the ability for Socke's Stalkers to blink is perfect for him, as he can do these little harass moves, as you just saw.
Because he's using this Observer to get the vision up onto the high ground, and now he's going to be trying to attack from all sides, but of course Huck is going to be able to hold that as he moves his Immortal up to the right side. Now Socke is put in a rough spot. Where is he going to be able to successfully get through?
Well, the thing when you go with this Blink Stalker play is you have to keep up the harass, and what that's going to do is allow him to secure his natural, stay nice and safe, and keep Huck hesitant in engaging him toward the middle of the map. Plus, it keeps the initiative on Socke's side. So that's what he wants to do. He wants to capture the initiative, set the tone of this, and not let Huck get too comfortable.
That's right. And behind this, Socke has decided to expand. He's doing a great job trying to keep up on his economy as well. He's just about completely closed the gap there as far as the workers go.
You know what I often wonder, Rob? A lot of times, we'll hold that thought as we may see an engagement here.
Oh, man, and he does blink up the ramp. He has a slight advantage. Oh, picks off Huck's Observer. Now Huck is trying to warp in some Zealots, but of course the blink cooldown is just about done once again. So Socke will be able to pick off a few units and retreat.
Yeah, absolutely, and as you can see there, Socke doing a good job. However, with the pickoff with the Observer is clutch. That's going to take more time. Guardian Shield pop now here. We're going to see another engagement, trapping a few units in as Huck is going to get aggressive. You can see reinforcements coming in from behind here, streaming across the mini-map. So Huck definitely wants to get aggressive.
Yeah, and it looked like a couple of those Immortals were going to be just a bit too vulnerable, but no, he brings in the Stalkers as backup, and now it seems as though Socke is forced to pull probes to try to defend this. Oh man, now he has an Immortal of his own entering the fray, but Huck has quite a good amount of units. Another Immortal enters the battle for Huck, and this could be the end of Socke if he's able to push through. Those two Immortals just ramming.
And another round of Stalkers going to come in to join right now. Rob, things not looking good at all for Socke, as Huck is all up in his business, just taking out units left and right. That extra Immortal really proving its worth, and you can see right now that Socke is in a lot of trouble. Oh, wow, and Huck, just in case, following up with 2 Stargates because he can. Now he's taken out the natural, and there's the GG. Socke is forced to tap out, and that puts Huck at a 3-0 lead in this series. Absolutely, and you know what? He played it like so. I mean, he was just so confident. You can see so crisp. Socke, though, maybe the nerves got to him a little bit. Those are out of the way now, I'm sure. I'm completely confident that he can go ahead and have a great showing here against Huck yet. Right, he could. I mean, it wasn't that far off, although it seemed like Huck was just so confident, right? He chose to go for his Expand plus Robo. Anyway, he knew that if he had enough energy on his sentries and just bought a little bit of extra time, that he would be able to hold off any timing that Socke was trying to do. I think that Socke maybe could have pushed just a little bit sooner. Yeah. But it's such a tough thing, especially when you're playing a player that's already beaten you twice in this tournament. No, certainly. You know, you never want to feel like that player's got your number. So you want to come into this with, you know, a fresh mind. But I think one of the problems also is Socke likes to be prepared, and sometimes he takes that extra second. And as you know, Rob, that extra second, that's priceless time. And especially against a player like Huck, you can't afford to drop a single moment. Yeah, Huck was absolutely capitalizing on every opportunity there. And now we're going to go to a brief break. And when we come back, we'll find out whether or not Socke is going to be able to come back from this 0-3 deficit, or if Huck is going to be able to seal the deal. I'm Rob Simpson. I'm Tumba. And we'll see you soon.